Welcome back to We Are Live. Chris Dem and Travis Tureau. We're on the Facebook live stream, and if you're downloading at home, thank you. Be sure you're subscribed and throw us a 5-star review. Big hour, last hour with Travis, surprising us all with a 6.5-star review of a Beyonce documentary. And also, almost maybe more surprisingly, he surprised, I'm saying surprised a lot, you surprised us with a very unbiased view of music and entertainment throughout the decades, and I don't know. I don't really know how to deal with that.
I'm very respectful of my elders, and so
you're older than me.
Oh.
Joining us in studio, live from Midcoast Studio, Grand Center, St. Louis, the great Charlie Marlow from Fox 2. What's up, man?
Great to be here, fellas.
Nice shirt choice. Can I borrow that?
Oh, no.
Can I borrow that
yes.
shirt?
You know, it's funny because I asked Gardner, I said, is this going to be kind of on TV or on the web? He said,
like
yes.
Real
so
TV?
Said, well, no, just the internet. And I said, I'll wear kind of a talkable shirt.
I like that.
It's kind of a shirt that it can start a conversation.
I like it.
So Gardner went with professional sportscaster on your.
I like that.
you do radio, you do TV. I mean, does that fit?
I will take that, and I'm sure that's a play on the famous or infamous Kevin Demoff Chiron super graphic, as they call it in TV. So I'll take that, yes.
Would you tell us about that for people that don't know what is that?
Let's get a quick dive for all of our listeners.
For those of you that don't know, Kevin Demoff is an executive with the now Los Angeles Rams. He was
the St. Louis
a villain here in St. Louis. What happened?
So the Rams' chief operating officer, I believe, right?
That's a big title.
Let's be real. During the whole process of relocation, Stan Kroenke never said anything.
Right.
And we know now after the fact, the reason he did that is because I think he was smart enough to, even if you don't like him, nobody likes him, but he wasn't going to lie.
Right.
Because if you asked him a question, of course they were trying to move the team.
Right.
Of course it was an inside job with the NFL. We all know that. We all know the process was window dressing and everything with the
the town hall didn't mean anything to you?
Town halls and all that, and the fans with their Rams horns and all that. But clearly, especially when you play it back, how many times, because Demoff went on every media outlet.
Yes.
And he was asked a lot of tough questions, whether it be print, TV, radio. And then you go after the fact, once the Rams leave, and you realize he 100% lied several times.
Yeah.
I mean, right off the top of my head, the one where he said that plot of land was not for a football stadium. And that was obviously where they're building. Where they're building. And then he's talking to the LA Times or whoever it was. He was speaking at his high school in LA, and he said, I'll never forget that day. I had my morning coffee, and Stan called me, or I called Stan, or whatever. And
some adult contemporary playing in the background as he spoke, by the way. It felt like a commercial.
I think it was Stan there or Kevin there. I can't remember exactly, and I looked out over this plot of land. I said, that's our football stadium. After, of course, telling St. Louis, no, that's just a piece of real estate. Stan Kroenke's just a real estate guy.
Right.
So I made the graphic, and I think I put Kevin Demoff, Rams COO / professional liar. And I never thought it would go viral. I really did. I thought it would just be kind of funny. And I did kind of sneaky stuff like that a couple other times, mostly just to make like a couple people laugh. And always it would be somebody listening from the radio, and they'd screenshot it. They'd send it to me on Twitter, but they never blew up, of course, nationally. So I never thought it was a big deal. And people are saying, oh, libel and slander. First of all, no, because he is a liar, and we can prove that, and they're in court right now.
And we'd like to go any further on it.
Look, Fox 2, I think it was one of those things where they were supposed to publicly not like it, but they kind of did, but everybody's boss has a boss,
of course.
We were owned by Tribune at the time, so I had to apologize that night. But you guys know how the internet is.
Yes.
The next day it's over because people are outraged about the next faux scandal. So I think if we would have waited literally 12, 24 hours, I wouldn't have had to apologize at all. So it is what it is. I think we had some fun with it. And again, Fox 2 publicly didn't like it, but I think they were okay with it.
Why do you keep capitalizing publicly when you say it?
Well, I think it's one of those things where, look, everybody was mad at the Rams.
Of course.
I mean, we were
even
the
people that were like, St. Louis is terrible, of course they're going to Los Angeles. Even those people could acknowledge there was some slime.
There were people from Kansas City and Chicago who were like, nah, for real, no, that's messed up. That's St. Louis getting screwed here. So everyone recognized the city of St. Louis is absolutely getting screwed in this situation.
And now it's obvious even from a legal standpoint, several times over. I know they didn't win the arbitration case with Rams Park, but that was pretty cut and dry
Yep.
Right.
of the agreement
Right.
that Stan could get that for $1, even though it sounds nuts. And I think that will further the evil empire, Scrooge McDuck, Stan Kroenke legacy, because Lou Fuse is out there with the kids.
Yes.
With soccer.
With soccer every weekend.
With
That thing's packed. There are
lacrosse,
tournaments
working
and
hard.
everything.
Football.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was there for Isaac Bruce doing a big charity flag football event last summer. So you just know that Stan Kroenke's going to scoop that up. You just know this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
No more soccer for the kids, and he'll turn it into some type of mall or something. We're sure.
Yeah. Travis, could you pen a script that would turn into an evil rich guy in about 10 years? Kind of doing that. It's a classic move, right?
I think that Kroenke introduced us to what it is to be a billionaire. Like, I think a lot of people had an idea as to, oh yeah, billionaires, these guys have a ton of money, a lot of wealth, a lot of influence and power, but that's only in New York and LA and Hollywood and big time here. St. Louis,
Get a little dose of it, huh?
got baptized in it and realized, oh no, this is what a billionaire can do, and he can do anything he wants.
And when you look back, I don't want to say we were all dumb, but I think we were all very naive.
Yes,
And maybe
agreed.
this is a bad comparison, but when you look back to the steroids era in baseball, do you ever look at what Mark McGwire looked like?
Yes.
Yes, I love
Yes.
it because at the time,
I mean,
everybody's like, well, humans are just large now.
Right.
Humans are.
That was the fallback.
We've evolved
Hey, man.
as a human. I'm like, he's 270 pounds with no fat. He's not slow either.
And look, I think I was 16 during the 98 home run chase. But you look back at pictures, he had a basketball on his shoulder.
Yeah.
He had a basketball bicep.
Yeah.
He had a basketball forearm. I
Neck
remember-
about as wide as this table.
Right, he looked like a bodybuilder. I remember reading Sports Illustrated, and one off season, I think it was Dante Bichette, but they were giving him credit for putting on 40 pounds. Like, man, this guy,
One off
he
season.
really works out. And
40
we kind
pounds
of
in the
read that
off-season,
stuff back in the day.
Christ.
Like, man, these guys
are in it.
they're really working hard.
They're in the gym.
And so again, this is a bad analogy, but looking back with Stan Kroenke, think about all the major players. All right, let's start with Jeff Fisher, who I really like. But why was he brought in?
Right.
He's from L.A.
We're not
He
losers.
played at USC.
Yeah.
He moved another franchise.
Yep.
Right. That was asked to him during
The interview.
the interview.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they brought in the coach who could facilitate a move. That's why Jeff Fisher was brought in. Look at
We'll get that
Demoff.
fixed.
Demoff is from LA.
Yep.
Demoff's dad, the super agent, represents all these guys, represents Jeff Fisher, right? And then Stan Kroenke. You talk about being a billionaire, and I feel like deep down we kind of still said, yeah, well, he's named after Enos Slaughter and Stan Musial. He's one of us. He's not going to move this team. This dude had lived in Malibu for how many years? 20 years.
Yes.
Like,
Right.
he was no longer, let's be real, he was no longer a Missourian. I'm from Ohio. I'm from Toledo, Ohio. I haven't lived there since 2000. I've lived in St. Louis for 11 years.
But that mud hen tattoo that you have
Mud hen
will
tats,
never let you
I mean,
get away.
it's great, but I'm saying, like, at what point are you no longer from where you're from if you haven't lived there in over a decade? I just feel like Stan Kroenke was a Hollywood Malibu mogul.
That
He just said
Hollywood hairpiece really should have
beautiful
told us something.
hairpiece. But I think, again, we're kind of folksy here with, oh, Stan the man and Enos Slaughter, he's named after him. He didn't care about any of that.
Right.
It was all about the money, and of course he moved it. The second he did, the valuation doubled. The second that stadium gets built, it probably triples.
Yeah, I think
Gardner's laughing. Hit your cam, Gardner.
It's the voice. It's
The folksy.
the folksy voice.
It is.
But we all said
But
that.
it-
Oh,
but
he's
also-
named after Enos
But
Slaughter.
even, but even when
Country.
Charlie does the voice, he has to have the hand motion too.
Stan the man.
You do. Man, and I don't know if we'll ever see anything again quite like that, right? Although people that were St. Louis Cardinal football fans probably thought that as well. Like, well, at least we're past that and we can move
Well,
forward.
I don't think we'll see anything like that, but it is. We talk about this a lot on the show, and I've heard you speak on this as well. I think St. Louis is that little city that wants to be with the big kids. It wants to hang out with the Austins and Nashvilles and the
We
Chicagos
say
of the
you
world.
say you do, but then you don't always practice what you
Exactly.
preach, in the fact that you kind of get caught up in your own little
And
circles.
and that's what I'm curious from your standpoint, covering sports in this town, knowing how important it is to the city, but still knowing that a lot of people's mentality is kind of small town to a degree.
How big's Toledo?
Toledo is TV market like 70. I want to say the city's like 300,000.
You went to college in Peoria?
I went to Peoria. I went to Bradley in Peoria. So that's like market 110, 120-ish, kind of a mid city. Like Toledo to me is a minor league town. And I say that with love. Like you joke about it, but we are the Toledo Mud Hens and the Toledo Walleye hockey team. And that's the biggest game in town. Like for us, the Mud Hens are the Cardinals. I mean, AAA baseball.
Sure.
And we are a minor league town. We're not a big city.
Right.
St. Louis, obviously, a much bigger city. And I do think when you talk about kind of comparing, it does seem like, when I first moved here, it does seem like, and still this is the case a little bit in my opinion, that St. Louis has a little bit of the little brother complex with Chicago. And I always kind of felt like Kansas City had the little brother complex with St. Louis.
Agreed.
But then they win a World Series, and now they're the baseball town. They got
Get
Pat
a few more
Mahomes.
tech firms. And
Right, and
Yeah.
we lose our football team. So I just think all of that is silly.
Right.
Don't you think? I mean, I know it's
I agree.
fun for
No, it's
sports
so
fans.
I lived in Kansas City for 2 years, and getting not into it, but having awkward discussions if I wore a Cardinals hat to the hardware store got really old. And I was like, guys, I bought a gray Cardinals hat so you'd stop realizing I was wearing a Cardinals hat. And these people still, oh, Cardinals fan, huh? And I'm like, okay, now we have to do this back and forth where, are we joking? Are we not? Like, is this kind of
and
a
that's
weird
different,
thing?
but as you being a person, like I see it in St. Louis a lot, and I'm curious, how difficult is that for you to engage in sports talk in this town, knowing that so many people live and die almost on every detail, whether it's the Cardinals or Blues. Now, I'm
funny,
not
man.
saying that exempts other cities like New York, Chicago, wherever, but it just feels like here in St. Louis, there's a little bit of extra onto it because it is so much part of the fabric of the entire city.
Super focused, despite it maybe being a larger than, it's not a small town, but you'll get that, like, a lot of times people in Los Angeles, New York will be like, well, you're huge baseball fans, there's not a lot going on there, right? So you have a little bit of that, but then also you also create an environment where I bet if you're Adam Wainwright, he's just fine with how Cardinals fans are, right?
Yeah, and I think back in the day, Colin Cowherd had a funny bit where he was talking about
Johnny Manziel.
Midwest sports cities. And what you brought up is perfect because, look, if you're in San Diego, L.A., I love sports, but I love the beach. It's 75.
right.
You're single,
I would be in
there's
shape
women.
and boogie boarding daily if I was in San Diego. I'd be jacked, Trav.
I was in L.A. once for New Year's, and I mean, you're walking outside on the beach. People are playing beach volleyball on December 31st and January 1st.
Care
Just think
about a
that.
backup second
Right.
baseman?
That's where Cowherd, and I can't remember the exact line, but he was joking about Midwestern sports cities, talking about the Milwaukees and the St. Louises and the Pittsburghs, and he said, wings, wings, beer, beer, pizza, pizza, sports, sports. Like, that's what we do. We go to the sports bar, we eat our nachos and our wings.
Yep.
I say that with love, and we just love sports. And that's where I think I really love St. Louis because I'm such a baseball fan that we joke about best fans in baseball and baseball heaven, but I truly believe it is the greatest baseball town in America. And part of it is what you said because it's woven into the fabric of what it is to be a St. Louisan. And I always find it really funny. Now, there's certainly the Bluesers as well that do this, but if you compare it to like Canada, I mean, what do you think Winnipeg's doing right now when they have nothing else to live for?
That's a good point. That's a
until
good
hockey
point.
season starts?
Alcoholism, depression.
It's cold. Summer lasts a week?
Right.
Yeah.
But I always
6
find
days.
It, I always find it really funny early in Cardinals baseball season when people are going nuts on Twitter. And I understand Twitter, it's always going to be like the 5% that's kind of crazy on each side. But, Marcell Ozuna is terrible. The rotation is terrible. Everything's terrible. Like 4 games in, I'm like, come on. You're the best baseball town in America. You know this is a long season.
Right.
We're 18 games in. People are ragging on Marcell Ozuna. I get it. He fell down. It was funny.
Yeah.
But then
It
he
was
hit
hilarious.
like 27
Joe
home
Kelly.
runs.
Yeah, that's true. Joe Kelly's reaction actually was the best part of that whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Dexter Fowler, and now Dexter Fowler is good again.
Right.
And the starting rotation is going to be terrible. For 18 games, it was bad. And then for 3 outings here, not great, but you saw what? You saw Michaelis with a good outing.
Right.
You saw Dakota Hudson grinding through a solid performance. Jack Flaherty gave up 4 last night, but he struck out 10. Like, at the end of the day, these guys are going to get back to their normal type numbers, and they're going to be fine. I always find it funny that people go nuts over one baseball game. I'm like, dude, they play 162.
62 of these.
They play every day. Like
Right.
2 months from now, it's only going to be game 58. And there's 100 more.
Right.
And everything will change 6 times again. Like
It
it'll be
will.
good, bad, in between 3 more times.
Has anybody? So Charlie, we know you from obviously working radio together. I think we co-hosted a TMA once or twice together.
think we did.
Yeah, but either way, in radio, TV, online, you've had some fun. Obviously, you've always struck me as a guy who was very chill, laid back, didn't need to really prove anything to anyone. Svelte, as some commenters are saying in the in that. So just to add that on to the list. No, has anybody ever crossed the line, whether it be TV, online, radio, whatever? Have you felt like you said, okay, stepping out of character, no more laid back Chuck, I'm mad? Or in person too, because St. Louis is pretty good about that, Travis, wouldn't you say? Despite the new thing that people yell at you when they see you.
Yeah.
But
They say 6.5 booties.
yeah. No, has anybody ever taken it too far? It's weird because I've always thought that, like, bro, if you want to talk smack, I bet we're 2 degrees of separation on Facebook away from each other. We could probably find each other, whatever it is. Has anybody crossed that line?
You are the rascal, and you have fun on Twitter.
Wow.
But you have a ton of fun on Twitter, which is awesome. Is why I love you. But I would imagine being in your position, there's got to be someone, and I'm not going to pick on any part of the St. Louis metro area, probably South County, who probably decides that
this is a St. Charles move.
Well, it probably is.
Okay,
But
all right.
fact is, I would imagine you've come across a few people who have been more than snarky and have gone to a point where you probably wouldn't want it to go.
100%. And that's never happened in person. And people are very
Never.
nice.
Well,
Shocking. I'm shocked.
Okay.
5'8" guys with beer guts stand
Right.
next to 6'4" over here. They're not feeling so tough.
But it's also funny because even though I've been here for now, it's basically exactly 11 years, and I've been on TV for a while, but I'm not Mike Bush or Frank
Yep.
Cusimano
Yep.
or Martin Kilcoyne. Those guys have been here for 20 plus years,
Right.
and they were always the sports director on all the time. I kind of worked my way up from behind the scenes and reporter and weekend
He was a
anchor.
grinder, Trav.
Grinding it out. So I always get, man, you look familiar, or sports guy, and Channel 4, and I'm like, no, Channel 2. So like I always get that.
Film critic, actually.
Right.
Thank you.
But rarely ever does somebody actually know my name. But at the gas station, like, sports guy, right? So I get that type of thing. So people are always great in person. But yes, of course, social media, Facebook now for me. Back in the day, used to love Facebook. If you're single, try to meet some ladies.
How great. We're about the same age. Facebook was snap a photo of your hammered picture at 2 a.m. and all your college friends will think it's cool. Maybe even throw a picture of you making out with a random girl at a bar. I don't know. Now Aunt Peggy's on there.
Exactly.
And she's got thoughts of the T-shirt you're wearing that day.
And some political thoughts usually.
Right.
And Uncle John as well. Yeah, back in the day.
You got to watch out for them.
For sure. Back in the day, yeah, when it was spring break or Halloween, you're checking Facebook for
Yep.
all the ladies'
Right?
costumes
Right.
the night
Right.
before. But
Well, that was
now-
after you took the digital camera and then physically uploaded
for
it
sure.
too.
And now, so I'm married. I have a 15-month-old beautiful baby daughter.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I still enjoy Facebook mostly for the baby pictures to let my family
Yep.
see the baby and all that. But if you have a close friend, you're going to text them, you're going to call them. You don't need Facebook for that. So I've tried to really avoid Facebook. I really think, and I'm not trying to get into this, but the 2016 election with the politics of Facebook, it made you hate like so many people that you like.
Good
and you
God,
just had
what a
to,
purge.
you had to unfollow, and you
Right.
I don't even care if you're a Republican, Democrat, Independent. Like I don't want to go there for that.
I
don't
agree.
want to go to Twitter for that
Right.
anymore. Sometimes I just want to check out your comedians, check out your sports, and I just don't even want to engage. And that's why with the social media, Twitter is kind of my favorite social media. I don't have Instagram. I don't have Snapchat. So
We've been clamoring for a Chuck Marlow
I should
Instagram.
get on that.
Yeah.
I should get on that.
You should make that happen.
Just him in a new flannel every day. I'm into
Get
that.
it sponsored. I like that. But I was randomly
Duluth
checking-
Trading Company presents the Charlie Marlow Instagram.
I was randomly checking the settings of Twitter for a random reason. I can't remember. But I saw the mute list, and I noticed I had muted 114 people. So this is my move. If you block someone, as Doug Vaughn would say, block him. If you block someone, you give them the satisfaction of they got to you.
Yep.
Right? And I think it's better to mute them. They're still sending you tweets. but they're
Apathy is
out
the best
there
revenge.
in the ether, and you never see them. And it's kind of the thing like, what, you're not supposed to feed a troll. Don't feed the trolls. And my thing is like, I have very thick skin and I love to joke around. But sometimes too, when you go to Twitter, you don't want to be randomly aggravated by a stranger for no reason. And I know I should not be angered by that, but if you click that mention and Cardinals fan 87-422 says, you suck, I hate you, like it's hard for that not to kind of seep into your brain a little bit. And my thing is like, I don't want that in my orbit. You know what I'm saying?
I let that activate my hillbilly sometimes, and I'm just like, you wouldn't say that to me in person.
100%.
That's why
which is totally unnecessary.
That's what I got. That's why I'm a block button person now because of that. Because
well, you're not an emotional guy. You're really calm.
No, I'm very
and
even keel. I don't ever overreact.
Right.
But no, I'm. But
wait, did you want to pitch your idea of Magic Johnson running the Cardinals
there
instead of John
was
Mozeliak?
a small movement last year that I tried.
I wouldn't call it a movement. You screamed for like 20 minutes about it.
Well, there was a moment where John Mozeliak was, I thought, personnel-wise, he wasn't making the type of decisions I would prefer.
Well,
and
We've
I was
seen how those have worked out.
He had a rough couple of years, let's be real.
And so, and at the time, I was
don't
like,
support Travis.
who better than Magic Johnson, a guy that was able to get LeBron James to come. This guy's doing it. Look what he's done for the Dodgers. The Dodgers had done well.
Right.
He had galvanized the
He's not really
city of
making
LA.
decisions for the Dodgers.
No, but still, Magic being there was Magic being Magic, and that's why
he
the
swung
Dodgers.
and missed on Bryce.
But he
It's all his
he
fault.
was there, and so
Remember that late night show?
But here's the thing about
Those
Magic.
theaters aren't so great
Here's
either.
the beauty about Magic. Magic will do so many things and fail, and yet when it's time for
got a great
something to
smile.
happen, you still call him Magic Johnson. That is amazing.
He quit and just said, "Yeah, I just want to go home."
But
I'm
here's the
happy."
thing. Magic Johnson
gets to do that?
You will still find a major company, whether it's like Visa or somebody big in LA, will still go, yeah, we should get Magic Johnson.
He's gonna
and
have
they will
an
hire
app.
him.
There will be a Magic app.
Yes. It will.
Yeah.
And that press conference, it sounded like he just did it almost on the fly and didn't tell his superiors.
Didn't.
And it seemed like he's like, dude, I'm Magic Johnson.
Yep.
I want to be able to tweet about basketball and say something
Yes.
It was
and,
all
and
over
love
Twitter.
basketball without it being tampering. He's like, dude, I have $1 billion. I just want to have fun and
Yes.
not have people say that's tampering when I say Kyrie Irving had a nice layup.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And that's why I thought Magic Johnson would be a son. Now, okay, now looking back on it,
Do you want to be on the record as agreeing with him, Charlie? Be careful here.
Here's what I'll say though. I mean, compare that to Phil Jackson, who goes to the Knicks, gets paid what, $10 million a year, didn't
Yes.
do anything
At all.
didn't attract one.
alienated one of the
Free
greatest
agent.
players on earth, and LeBron James.
Right.
Did
you
God knows what to Jeannie Buss.
Exactly. You got Charles Oakley fighting people in the stands and all that. You could make the case that Magic Johnson, his number one job was what? To get LeBron
Yes.
to
Yeah.
the Lakers. He
Yes.
did his job. I was surprised that LeBron was not able to bring the friends
Right.
quicker. Now, maybe
Right.
Anthony Davis comes, but I thought he would bring a Kawhi or
Right.
get Paul George because they're all tampering anyway. They're all with the
course.
same agency, and they have, the record deals or whatever it is, the podcast. I mean, they all tamper. I mean,
Right.
they call each other up and, hey, where do you want to go? I mean, that's what happened with Miami.
Yeah.
LeBron's
Right.
like, D-Wade, Bosh,
Let's do this.
I'm going, but you're coming too. We're going to win some championships.
Custom
Right.
jet skis and NBA rings.
Look, LeBron's going to come out with a rap song just asking for Anthony Davis to come to the
At
Lakers.
this
Yeah.
point, why?
Well, how's that tampering?
I mean, it was
I'm
a
an
rap.
entertainer.
It was a lyric.
Actually, they should do that.
It's an artistic endeavor.
But one of the games, I think it was at the end of the regular season, and it was the Lakers playing the Raptors. I don't even know if LeBron was playing because he was injured, but after the game, he daps up Kawhi, and he goes, we'll be in touch. And that was like, it just sounded like the Lakers or my people, like, he didn't even hide it. The camera was right there, like,
No,
dude,
I want him to be in Space Jam too.
right.
That's all it was.
Funny Magic story, by
Props
the
to
way.
Kawhi once again, by the way, for wearing New Balance.
Gotta love
100%. And this is not good for the radio show because it's a visual, if we can try to find it. But I worked in
Oh,
Lansing.
don't ask him to do anything that's not
Well,
planned.
this is
He
easy
will
to find.
explode.
I worked in Lansing for 2 years, Michigan State, and of course Magic. He's from Lansing and went to Michigan State, and they have this statue outside of the Breslin Center where they play basketball. And I love Magic Johnson. This is the worst looking statue in the history of statues. Before that Cristiano Ronaldo one,
that was
remember?
terrible.
Yeah, that was really bad.
Okay, Magic Johnson, you got to Google this. He looks like Morgan Freeman. The face looks nothing like Magic Johnson. And everybody's talked about this from the time it was erected. You need to Google this statue because it looks like Morgan Freeman. It's hilarious. And it's right there outside. People are always taking pictures with it.
What do you think, Gardner? Can you find it?
Give me a second here.
Okay. I'll tell you about Buzz's Hawaiian Grill really quick, and we're going to hook Charlie up with a gift certificate for coming by today.
Nice.
He can get himself some
Masubi.
maybe.
Get you some poke.
Maybe some poke. Buzz came in and filmed with us last week. Great guy, wonderful family-owned restaurant. Check out their Facebook page to see locations throughout the St. Louis area. When they say aloha, do you know where it comes from, Travis?
I would imagine it comes from the Greeks.
Comes from the heart.
Oh.
It's a word packed with so much significance. Aloha is application for all facets of life, not just in saying hello and goodbye. Check out Buzz's Hawaiian Grill to find out the true meaning of aloha, family-owned, and all over St. Louis. Cannot say enough good things about them, and that should have bought Gardner just enough time for the Google image search. Oh, my.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my.
So there's a Michigan fan, of course.
Well, that
always during the rivalry week, they go and they try to draw the M on Magic Johnson.
That's not even a human being.
But that's the thing is, look, now, of course, with Magic Johnson, what did he play? 2 years at Michigan State, so he's probably 19, 20 years old. So, okay, he's got the athletic, fit basketball body, but the head looks like a 60-year-old.
Man, that ain't Magic Johnson.
That day, I crossed over into
Very
Dufresne.
narrow. Very narrow. head.
It's like Ronald McDonald.
It's horrible.
The Stan Musial statue is a little rough.
That's Arsenio Hall. That's not Magic
And I
Johnson.
realized he was more svelte in his college years, but he was always a huskier guy, right? Like, that's not...
That's J.J. Walker.
Yeah.
That ain't
It's just
Dynamite.
a bad statue.
Yeah. Thank you, Charlie. I'm glad we got to see that.
Hey, you are a father now.
I am.
How has that changed?
Are you going to try and sell him one of your Sesame Street T-shirts?
No, I'm first of all.
Okay.
No, I would not do that. But if
I'll
Charlie,
buy one.
if he was interested, that's interesting because the character's name is Detective Charlie.
Really?
Yes.
After Charlie Marlow. Sell the
Hey,
T-shirt. Sell
I'll
the
take
T-shirt.
it. I like it.
But I one of my best friends. Oh, look at the Detective Charlie. She's such a sweetheart. You can go to buyjack.com/Charlie.
That's very cool. Congratulations, by the way,
Thank
with what
you.
you're doing this summer. I'm very happy and excited for you. I've always kind of wanted to try to get into the comedy writing, and I've always thought that would be cool, and I've never really done it. So I
Yeah.
think it's awesome that you're doing it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I have become
You do it on Twitter. It's kind of the same thing, man.
Yeah, now
Make
that
me
it's
laugh.
very weird. My friends are changing. Specifically, the people that are in the studio are treating me differently. But it's no big deal. But now that you are a father, though, how has that changed your perspective on everything?
It certainly does change everything. I think sometimes, especially when you have a daughter, people say, oh, well, now you think about treating women differently. And I always think to myself, like, do you need to have a daughter? Because I have a mom. I have a little sister who the same fears you have, you kind of have about your little sister as well. Just because, look, we're guys. We know how guys are. We know how guys talk in college and all that. You know what guys are looking for. And so, of course, down the road, you're worried about all of that stuff. But just... It's such a great thing that every day, and it's a cliche, but you just look at that baby and she smiles and she says up to get picked up.
Wow.
And you hug her, and it's so fun. And no matter what happens with work or some idiot on Twitter, good day, bad day, you just know that baby depends on you for everything. And a hug from her, or as she's now becoming more vocal, I mean, literally every day is a new word. And that's just really cool when you start to say a word, and, you know, she's got her little puzzle with the bus and the truck and the train, and you say bus, and then she says it. I mean, and you see that development every day, every minute sometimes. I mean, the next day, we were gone on a vacation, my wife and I, so my mom and dad are watching Janie Mae, and we come back, and I swear in a week, it was like a different person. I mean, she was walking faster. She had 20 new words. She was saying...
Think about how different your child is that you haven't seen in a decade.
Let's relax. We don't have to bring that up anymore.
No, it's the best. People say, oh, you can't beat it. You really can't. It's the best thing in the world.
No, every time, I think when we're younger and it's like maybe not as expected, or I guess you could say acceptable, whenever your friends or people you know start having children, you're like, okay, sure. But then once you get into your 30s and like everybody's having kids, and they're people that have done things, and they're not just, I don't want to get too far into it, but whenever enough people that you respect start being like, no, listen, this isn't just a trope. This is the real deal, and I don't care about you anymore. It's all about the kid.
What are you and the wife's picture strategy when it comes
good
to
question.
posting
Important
pictures
question.
of the? Because I'm curious, because I have friends that are on both ends of the spectrum. I have friends who post new photos of their children, like at least 3 to 5 pictures a day. And then there are people who recently had kids who don't post at all. So what was your posting a picture strategy with you and the wife?
It's funny you say that because when you first have the baby, now first of all, you document everything.
Right.
And then again, because we live in this social media world where everybody does the little, you put the baby on the blanket or the chair and you have the blocks for 1 month
Right.
and 2 months.
Chalkboard.
Chalkboard,
Yep.
whatever it is. And then, right now I like crying and I like laughing and Sesame Street.
I like
whatever it is.
interrupting Dad's nap.
So it's
Yeah.
funny because you're into that the first month, okay, second month, third month. Month 4, you don't even do it on the exact day. You forget it's a week later. Month 7, I guarantee you could go back to my Facebook, and we probably religiously did that, let's say 1 month, 2 month, 3 month. My wife Jess always wanted the same outfit or a different outfit, whatever it was. I put her in the wrong outfit once. I put her in the play toy. That wasn't right. And then we probably haven't done that. We probably haven't. I think we did it for a year.
Right.
Because a year is a big deal.
Yeah.
My baby's now 15 months. We haven't done the whole blocks in the chalkboard in probably, 7
By
months.
the
Because
time-
you're tired. You got to change your diaper.
All right.
Yeah.
By the time you have your third kid, they're lucky to make it into a picture before they're 5.
Right. And 2, I'm with the posting, I try not to do too much, but I think the family members
I
like
don't
to see
care.
it.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
care.
But
Screw
again,
it.
yeah.
You
See,
know what? Unfollow me if you don't like it.
Right, and I'm sending a lot of the pictures and videos to my parents and my brothers and sisters directly. And you know how women are too. You got to take all these pictures. You got to take about 27 of
Gotta
them.
have angles.
And
Women
then
be photoing.
Angles,
I give it to my wife. I say, because she's got to
Can't-
look good.
can't upload it.
Baby's got to look good.
Yep.
I know now
Oh,
that.
really?
You know how it is.
Oh man, no, I'm single and lonely, but I can understand having someone there who loves you, Charlie.
But yeah, I try not to do
Whoa.
it.
That
too
was
much.
real.
Yeah, we get a
Maybe
little
in New
peek
York,
in there.
maybe you'll find.
Maybe that's that's my goal. My goal because I
That
think
was an
when
earnest
No,
suggestion
but no,
for
I'm
you.
glad you said that because I have come up with the strategy. I've shared it with the guys that
No.
that I am going to probably be a New York 5, which is fine. I'm not worried
little
about
high.
that. That's pretty high, but I'll take it. The fact is, though, one thing I consistently see out of New York is you see these amazing, beautiful model type women who are always with those schlubs. And the reason why they're with them is because for their own self-esteem. But that's just right. I don't have but I'm schlub-like.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but
I
you need the
Right.
I need but
to
I,
be that guy.
So what if you're just listening, no video? They're making the money sign.
Right.
Right.
All right. So
Johnny Manziel.
So yeah. So I mean, can I borrow some money from some of y'all to
No.
make it? Well, the fact
all you
is,
need
fine,
is one
though.
photo.
You're a young, charismatic,
You ain't that young.
good-looking
hey,
dude.
Hey, relax.
But I mean, you'll find someone. Do you even want to right now?
Not necessarily,
So there you
unless
go.
it's like Rihanna, like, hey,
Oh, there
I'm
he
like,
is.
hey,
Okay.
boo, I'm like, I'm ready to settle down. I'd be like, all right, baby girl, let's do that. But no, you're right. I think I am, because I am morphing into the mogul I always thought I would be.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that I'm like a black Aaron Sorkin.
You're gonna
but
be
I
making
would
sandwiches
like to-
for Big Bird, boy. Come on, man.
I'm proud of you. I think it's awesome. Stewing.
He's
speaking-
gonna get an HBO deal now that I've angered him to
You
this
have,
point.
you have
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
pissed me off.
That would be awesome. When I was in college at Bradley, I applied for an internship with the David Letterman show. I've always loved David Letterman.
Yes.
He was my guy.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I did something similar.
That's
And
akin
so-
to Tommy being an intern here. I'd
wouldn't
say
go
that's
that
about the
far.
same, right?
And so one of the years, I think it was my junior year, I applied to be an intern where you'd live in New York for the semester. It would have been the fall semester.
Right.
So I didn't even get an interview. So I'm like, whatever. And then I don't know if somebody quit or decided not to, but like right before fall break my senior year, I get a call and they said, you applied last year for the fall. Are you interested in the spring? And I really wasn't because I was about to graduate. That would have been
Right.
my last semester. But I go, man, David Letterman,
David
I
Letterman.
got it.
Yeah.
I got to take a shot. So I happened to anyway be in Washington, D.C. with my buddies. We were hanging out fall break. I actually drove up to New York and I interviewed and I did not get it. But I always kind of wondered how my life would be different
Right.
if I had, because even though I love sports, I just feel like if I would have gotten that internship and if they liked me in any capacity,
Right.
even to take the smallest, lowest paid grip or staffer or helper
Yeah.
job, I don't feel like I could have left. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and I feel like
definitely.
everything would have been different.
Definitely. I think I applied for the same one. I was like, "Ooh, that's really cool." And then this is no surprise when it comes to an internship. It was like, "Hey, this is 60 hours unpaid."
Yeah.
Yes. In New York.
In New York.
Pay for your own.
You're paying for your own. Like,
Room and board.
so it wasn't like, you show up,
Right.
you get to put in a couple hours.
Instead,
and
I'll
they
work
want
at a
you there.
brewery in the summer in Columbia and have the time of my life.
There you go.
And then also go back in time. What was happening? What did we learn with some of the interns?
Yes.
That maybe Travis, you and I weren't the exact interns that David, who I love,
Well,
was
he
looking
ducked-
for.
he talk about the use of power. He dodged a machine gun's
Just
worth
say
of
it's-
bullets.
he did the Jordan retirement thing. He was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to retire before it get too hot.
Right.
So people
What's
ask too
funny-
many questions.
What's funny about that is that happened right before the Me Too movement. So we kind of look at him a little differently, right?
He's not even put. Aziz Ansari had a bad date and gets put in the
Yes.
same freaking conversation as Harvey Weinstein, and then Letterman, which whatever you do but he's not even a thought, in my opinion,
And it
other
was-
than what we're doing right now.
Right. And it was always funny to me that whole Me Too movement, every day you would wake up, you would check your phone, and it's like, who'd they get this morning?
Yeah.
I'm talking about for like 2 months.
Yeah.
It was basically every news anchor.
Yeah.
Like, what's up with the news
Yeah,
business?
it
like,
like-
every
it
news
was
anchor.
a news anchor.
Every dude.
I've been to
was-
Fox 2 many times. It seems like a very nice environment.
It's a great place to work. And we don't have that going, but like every national big time news anchor, we're all about the same age. We grew up with it's like, you too?
Really, man?
Right.
And every single one.
And I still think the Matt Lauer one is the one that really messes with me because that's I know it's silly to say that's the last person I would think, but like Matt Lauer was locking doors. He had a button underneath his desk.
You know who-
what is that?
You know who got out in time? Willard Scott. I heard he blocked a lot of doors. Gardner, you've got an audio clip, I believe, right? And guys, get your fair fouls in. We'll read. Charlie will help us vote on that. It's the topic. We put a topic out. People send us their thoughts on it. The topic today: white folks who haven't seen Frasier. So you could win $10 to Buzz's Hawaiian Grill. We'll do a little
Charlie,
voting.
you've seen
We'll have
Frasier?
some
You've
fun.
watched Frasier.
I watched it
No.
growing up, but I wouldn't say I watched it religiously.
Yeah, no. I had
Just kinda here
Seinfeld
and
to
there.
watch. All right.
Well, I watched that too, and Frasier.
Well, some of us went out and played in the yard. Okay.
I did too.
I don't think so. Probably smoking cigarettes with the bad kids.
What time? What time of day? Or what time? I didn't start smoking till I was 18. 18.
Oh,
pretty late
yeah,
in
legal
life.
disclaimer. Okay.
Country Club forced me into it.
Nice.
I wanted to revisit something with Charlie here for a moment.
Okay.
I'm
boy.
going to flash a picture up on the screen.
Charlie, be careful, man.
And I
This
want
could be bad.
to hear from everyone what it makes them think. What
I
it
know
makes them
what this is going to
feel.
be, I bet.
So I will show you the image here. Tell me what you're feeling when you see this image. Travis.
This is different than what I thought.
I love this because this is my favorite part of your show now. When you try to explain this to your co-host,
And I'm still right on this, by the way.
Okay, this is a
you
picture.
are not right,
I'm
Chuck.
100% right.
You are not.
Hold on, we'll get to that. We'll
My
get to that.
favorite part of your show.
So should we describe this? Should we
So what? So on the show with Martin,
Yes.
you guys talk about this.
Yes, it's my favorite. It's my favorite
is-
moment, and we talk about. So this was the Fast and Furious 7.
7, 8, 9.
Fast and Furious 7. This is
7.2.
a screen grab from basically the final scene.
Right. This is Paul Walker and Vin Diesel. Last
so you've
time,
seen Fast and Furious.
I have
7.
seen this, and
What-
I've seen this
What
part.
kind of emotion comes out of you when you see this? film?
I absolutely bawl.
Thank you.
I bawl. I bawled when they showed this.
Dude.
Like I kid you not. That when they got to this part of the movie,
What's wrong with you?
I kid
No,
you. Look, man,
you're right.
That's Paul. Like first of all, that's CGI. Like that was after he passed.
so it's not real.
Or a
that's
brother.
like-
One of his brothers.
Or one of his brothers,
played
yeah,
bodied
yeah.
in and then, yeah,
so when
bodied
you
in.
like think about all of that and what they went through in order to make that scene possible, and then of course you realize that this is the last time you're going to see Paul Walker a part of this franchise, and he was the core. He was the reason why you showed up to the movie theaters. Was because of that beautiful, beautiful face and that amazing acting. And this is the last time we would see him.
Chris?
And they split off to a side road.
And he drove into heaven.
He did not drive to heaven.
He drove into
Took
heaven.
an off ramp to another
I've,
highway.
I've never seen the film, but I'm pretty sure he drove into heaven.
So
He
to
did
make-
drive into heaven. He basically, Vin Diesel goes right, I believe. Paul Walker goes left,
Right.
and he's driving up, and the light brightens, and
you.
the camera, I believe you'd call it a tilt. The camera
Yeah,
tilts
thank
up
you.
as if he's. I'm dead serious.
Right.
I'm not even joking.
Chuck is not
Yeah.
his.
I am dead serious. And look, I brought this up organically. This was not a bit because I watched the movie the day before, and now listen, I'm kind of emotional. I couldn't believe how emotional I got, and it wasn't like I'm Mr. Fast and the Furious.
Was this pre or post child?
It might have been pre.
Pre.
Okay.
It was.
Did you know your wife was
I
pregnant?
looked back at a date on something, and it would have been September 26th. I'm not sure of the particular year. I'd have to look into
It was
that.
probably 2 years ago.
Yeah. So.
And again,
it was pre, I think.
We're all about the same age, and I'm not saying like, oh, I had a Paul Walker poster on my wall. I didn't. But when you grow up, remember Varsity Blues?
Yes.
Come on.
Okay, you're not
This is one of
you're not
those-
attached to Paul Walker. You're
I'm not.
attached to the whipped cream bikini. Please,
I am. That's
thank
true.
you.
But I'm just
Okay.
saying, when you think about Varsity Blues and then all those Fast and the Furious movies, and it wasn't like I was the biggest fan, but you watched them. They're entertaining. They're fun.
Right.
And then the way they did that, honestly, I thought was very touching. I mean,
Yes.
that dude died in a horrific
Actually,
fashion, and he's got
terrible.
the daughter and all that. And okay, they kind of laughed at me and said it was corny. I thought it was cool the way they did it at the end. That I guess at the end of the movie that he had married the Jordana Brewster character and had a kid or whatever. But at the end there, that was them saying goodbye to that character. And I thought they did it. They had the song. What's the song?
It's been a road
Yes. All I'm saying is, look,
without you, my friend.
this was not a bit. This was genuine. I thought they did that really well. And of
And
course, these guys
you
torched
watched
me.
this before. Like, I used to produce for Charlie and Martin on the midday grind. Could be heard noon to 1, the coveted hour on 590 The Fan.
Nice.
You watched this before you went on for a sports cast, right? Isn't that what happened? Something like that, or you,
Oh,
or you, had or you thought of that
3-1.
That wasn't like my routine.
Right, right.
I probably,
It's the only way to get in the right frame of mind.
I probably, to be honest, you know those shows, those movies, is it like TBS or TNT where every movie's always on at 2
Yeah,
a.m.
right.
and
Yeah.
you want to go to sleep and then you catch it like 45 minutes in
like,
and you
ah.
can't not finish watching
gotta
it.
watch
It
it.
was one of those scenarios.
Maybe I could clarify what happened
Sure.
here. Let me play some audio and see
Oh.
if we can
Oh, wow. You're going to do
figure
this
out
one.
exactly
Here we
what
go.
happened and why this is became and still is a talking point on Charlie and Martin's
Boy,
radio
Martin's
show.
not a good guy to have going after you either.
Yeah.
Play this clip last night on Fox 2. All I can think about is Paul Walker, because at the end of one of these most recent Fast and the Furious movies, that's the song that they play as they do this really cool tribute to the late Paul Walker, where his car basically drives up to heaven at the end, and they play that song, and it's very emotional. And all I can think about on the set is the late Paul Walker.
Now that's really weird.
It is, but it's true.
I haven't seen the movie either, Gardner. I'm thinking the same thing. The car drives up to heaven?
Okay,
How stupid is that?
it's a tribute to his
Some
dad.
Grease Lightning stuff
I
right here.
understand that, but a car driving to heaven.
Okay, listen. The way they end the film is you have Vin Diesel in a car, Paul Walker in a car. They basically line up and they kind of look at each other like, brother, I'll see you again. And then the roads fork. Vin Diesel drives one way,
Towards like Santa Monica Boulevard,
Yes.
and the other one goes to heaven.
and then Paul Walker's car seemingly continues to rise as it goes
Into
to
the
heaven.
sky.
Yes, you jerk. Unbelievable, you guys. You're
He
all
gets pulled over by
asses.
Chip.
And then the music drops like that
Yes!
at the perfect time.
And the tears. The
Yeah.
tears come.
I stand by this, and you can make fun of me, it's fine. But I did get emotional when I saw
I get
that.
it.
What I was alluding to is I think the night before on Fox 2, they either played that song, they played that
Oh,
song,
no.
Okay, that's what
and
did it.
that's what
Right
made
before
me
you went on.
think of it. And I couldn't get through my Cardinals highlights versus the Pirates.
I love that
I just
Martin.
would have loved to see just at one point in that sportscast, Charlie just stop and just shake his head.
But
and
you
just
can
go
hear it
down.
in his voice. That's why I love that.
That was a
that audio,
generational thing.
'cause
That was Dad
it
not
was.
understanding.
It was, and then Martin just laughing at Chuck's.
You have feelings,
You know,
Chuck?
you know what Martin does well when he's doing little
He does
arguments
nothing
and
well.
bits like that is it will bother you because he's not even really looking at you when he's doing it. You can see his brain going, and he's just coming up with his next line. You're like, you're not even listening to me.
And he doesn't even know who Paul Walker is.
He doesn't care.
All of his references are from like 1986.
Well, what did you guys think when they were saying that they were going to CGI Paul Walker in for, what was it? It was Fast and the Furious Angelic Drift 12? Like, that's a little tasteless, I think.
I think
Are
we
you
got a
being
good
disrespectful to the
takes away.
franchise right
I
now?
think
I'm gonna
that, I
ask
think,
you-
like,
I'm
they're
gonna
going to have
ask
him
you-
scooting
hold
around
man.
heaven?
You
Like,
ain't gonna
that's kind of
celebrate-
weird.
You ain't gonna disrespect this
I don't
franchise
know,
on
man.
this show,
Like,
man. Don't do
that's
that.
kind of taking it too
Don't-
far.
you-
I mean, does the money go to
Travis,
his
calm down.
family?
Y'all be mad disrespectful to us.
Does he
This
have to?
series has
Does
been
he have
around
to
since we've
run
been in
down
high
the
school.
devil? Like, does he go
What
to
series?
hell?
What's the name of the series?
The Fast
We
and
can't-
Furious
They can't
is-
even decide what to call
We
themselves.
discussed
They're
this the other
Furious
day.
one day.
It's Furious
They're Fast
one.
another.
We
Fast and
It could be the
Furious.
fate of the 8. And then 9, I think, is, man, you fast as
Bust a
hell.
rhyme.
They don't even know what their name is
Thank you.
anymore.
But look, Travis brings up a great point. I'm not even Mr. Car guy. I know that Tokyo Drift one apparently wasn't great, and it wasn't the same cast. But
Also,
No.
but the Lucas guy who lived in Columbia and we hooped with him at the Mizzou Rec Center, and he was not very good at basketball, so I couldn't ever respect the franchise after that. So it was kind of a bad one.
But my thing is, if that movie is on again, TBS or TNT, whether it's 1, 8, Drift, 6, 5, I will watch it, and it's pretty
Thank
good
you.
because there's action,
Yep.
there's guns,
Yep.
there's cars,
Yep.
there's hot chicks.
Yep.
It's just one of those easy movies to watch. Like if they have 9, 10, 11, if it's still Vin Diesel, if it's still The Rock, if those guys, Ludacris, whoever, if those guys are in it, I am going to watch it. It's almost like, not to a exact degree, but Taken. After a while, you're like, how many times can this dude or a family member be kidnapped? But I'm like, I'll still watch.
I'll watch
it.
Because
Clint Eastwood
Liam
has
Neeson,
signed
you're
on.
gonna watch that.
Clint Eastwood has signed on to direct the next Taken, given the
And you
events that he heard of from Liam Neeson.
You
Travis.
said Taken, and it made me want to tie two things in here real quick.
Please
before we
do,
get to
please.
Fred
I love
Fox.
your tie-ins.
But you mentioned Taken, it immediately made me think of Frank Cusimano,
Mm-hmm.
simply because when he does his radio show, he uses the clip from that Taken monologue in his own monologue, probably once a month at least.
that's fair.
You also mentioned the mute button on Twitter earlier. Were you the one? Here's the thing between muting and blocking. Frank used to block me on Twitter from time to time.
That was fun.
Now he has me muted and doesn't know how to get me off, so he does not get to see any of my Rick Pitino jokes,
Right.
which with the hashtag Pasta Prematura directed at him anymore, and that bothers me a little bit.
That should
actually.
bother you.
Which I love, but because I mute people, if you still tweet at Frank, I believe if he presses his mentions, he will see a little box that says tweet is unavailable. But you can then kind of
He has to
unmute him
click
even
it.
instantaneously.
You'd have
if
his
you want
producer
to see
fix
it.
his Twitter settings, right? Yeah. He ain't,
Yeah, that
he ain't
guy
messing
ain't
around.
These guys are old school. Frank and Martin, I mean, little different generation.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
they-
saying? Than
yeah.
us.
It is.
Right?
We are young and good looking. Look at this. Look at
Yeah.
this.
We really are.
Look at the
Right.
3. And Gardner, can you like?
Do you think we could
Gardner, can
headline?
you get
Do you
off
think
real
we could
quick?
headline
There you
Coachella?
go.
Thank
Look
you.
at
100%.
Look at this boy band. Look how hot is
tell you
that?
what.
That's right.
Now let me-
we
let
have
me
we
in
have the
there.
diversity.
Yeah.
Now I'm
We have the
am I the
with
older
the
guy?
fat friendly.
Yeah, you are. You the Joy Fatone of this situation.
No,
I'm the
you're the
older
man.
guy.
No, you're the roadie. You're the roadie.
I could definitely pass.
Remember the
for a
English
roadie.
guy in that Marky Mark movie with where he was? It was a
I haven't
Judas
been
Priest, Judas
mistaken
Priest remake.
for an old lady in about a month and a half now.
Because all that scooter action getting you in shape.
I guess so. Personal record today: 10 minutes 22 seconds from my apartment.
Lou
to the office.
Ferrigno gave him a personal recommendation to stop riding scooters. He sat right in that chair where you're at, Charlie. Lou Ferrigno, the Hulk, said, "Stop riding those scooters. Walk to the pizza buffet."
I'm reducing my carbon footprint.
Okay.
How about Lou Ferrigno back in the day with Arnold and Pumping Iron?
Yes.
Just that's one of those movies too that if you just watch it once a month, it's so interesting to
just-
see these dudes.
That's just
and
good diet and hard work.
Arnold talking about just banging all the chicks. And he's smoking pot at the end. It's just like
Right.
an unbelievable documentary. And then you see these dudes in the old school gyms in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, with no shirt on and no shoes on and just lifting and flexing.
Just
and tanning.
musk filling
Yeah.
the room.
Is Venice Beach still a thing?
It
Pro-
is.
yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
actually is. It still is.
I go
went
there,
there.
take my shirt off, and work out.
Definitely. No doubt about it.
They would ask you to move along. Homeless up by the road, pal.
Skid Row's 2 miles away, pal.
I'm just trying to do a pull up, but I just hang there
Yeah.
for like a minute.
You need help, buddy?
I did one pull up.
Oh, really?
At Venice Beach about 4 or 5 years ago when the Cardinals were playing the Dodgers in one of those playoff series. And so I'm like, let's go check out Venice Beach. And you see those basketball courts from White Men Can't
Yep.
Jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see the old school outdoor gym. And they also have all of these almost like acrobat rings and
They
stuff.
do.
You see some dudes who are looking like they could be in Cirque du Soleil. But I said, I'm going to do one pull up so that I can say I worked out at Venice Beach. So I did exactly one pull up.
I want to go there and use
Charlie
those
Marlow.
rings then and just do the Vince Vaughn
Just-
from old school and smoke a
The
cigarette,
cigarette,
while
yes.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
That's my move.
Charlie Marlow, you can catch him on Fox 2 as well as on 590 The Fan. 12 to 1.
12 to 1, and then kind of filling in all other
everywhere else,
parts
man.
of the day.
Well, we love it. We appreciate you coming
Thank
by.
you for coming by, bro. That's
thanks
great
for having
seeing
me. It was
you.
fun. Yeah.
You want to do some voting on? We got some fair or foul submissions.
Yes, Chris, let's turn it over to. First of all, let's check our morning melee before we go.
Oh, yeah,
Let's not
this is
get too
good. I'll
carried
tell you
away.
about St. Louis Counseling Services in the meantime. If you're a business or individual looking for counseling services in the St. Louis area, be sure to check out St. Louis Counseling and check out their podcast produced right here at Midcoast Studio. That's Mental Health Matters with Tom Duff. They've had on the great Benjamin Hockman, our buddy John Henry, Corey Hirsch, former NHL goaltender, has joined.
They also had.
Nope.
They had.
We don't mind.
The Travis.
Travis Terrell was a guest. Yeah. Also, check out the Static podcast with Stacey Static later today at 1 o'clock. Yesterday, she had on hip hop up and comer Mastermind, who's a very big deal.
Very big deal.
Gardner, want to do some fair or foul, or do we? Oh, we
Melee.
have the melee. Yeah.
Simple question: are ghosts real?
Charlie.
Are ghosts real? I always like to believe in all these things like Bigfoot and ghosts and all that, so I'll say yes.
Intern just woke up, by the way.
When
He's
I
like,
said,
"Oh, somebody
are
said
ghosts
ghosts?"
real?
Yeah.
I say ghosts are real.
All right, it's 54% to 46%.
Yes.
The no's have it.
Cowards. They're
No's
scared.
have it.
They're scared.
They are people. Who are
Close-minded. Close-minded.
Yell at them, Gardner.
He's going
Yeah, yell at them,
direct
Gardner.
shot.
Come on now.
Okay.
Let's get with it, folks. They can be real.
He's upset.
And they don't have to be
Get 'em, Gardner.
what everyone tells you they are.
Get 'em.
Maybe
Right.
aliens are really
Yes.
good at holograms,
Yeah.
and that's
Great
a ghost.
point.
That's a good
We
point.
don't know
I
that.
thought about
It
that.
could be as simple
Get
as
their
that.
ass- get
but
their
we're
ass
too
done.
dumb to know. And for you to think you know better than that, for
Yes.
shame.
He's very passionate about this
For shame.
topic.
It's now time to turn it over to America's favorite president.
Oh, wow. You
For
speak
fair or foul.
At this defining moment, change has come to America.
People often ask me, what's fair or foul? Is it a
Got
segment?
a funny story to tell
Is
you,
it a
by the way.
movement?
There's not.
It's
Is it hope?
funny. Gardner
I can't
came up
say
with it
for
yesterday.
certain. Time will be a true test of its power. But
True.
I can say, fair or foul is now and forever.
Do you guys need any
for the
voiceover work
people.
over at the radio station? Just let me
Your
know.
loved ones and
Okay.
hold on
I don't
to
know
them.
if you're allowed in there.
It's now time for
That's a good question.
Or anyone like you, actually.
I got boots though. Gardner made an interesting point yesterday that the Democrats, if they were smart, they
you're
would
pretty good.
tap a constitutional professor to determine whether or not they should impeach President Trump.
Well, I said they should publicly seek out the advice of a constitutional lawyer, a trained constitutional
Who do you think they would
lawyer.
have in mind?
And I said they should publicly seek out the advice of Barack Obama. Because then at that point, I would go to Twitter immediately to see how the current president would respond.
I think
And
just-
for my own entertainment, that would be some sort of
The
storm.
wonderment
they
that
should-
walked across Charlie's face as he heard this idea is an all-timer for me.
Because you know,
That was
here's
good.
the thing: the Dems don't have to actually
Here we
do
go.
it.
You guys got
putting
another
the
2
rumor-
hours?
Put the rumor out there, and
Yeah,
then
that's
just
fair.
watch it all. Just
Yeah.
because you know the Lindsey Grahams and you know the Trump White House are going to just absolutely convulse
This is-
if Obama's involved in this.
The
at
word
any point.
Kenya is up in search
yeah.
terms.
Oh, God.
It's for my own entertainment
Yes,
that I would
I
want
could,
this
and
to happen.
I am with you on this.
That's your nuclear. You enjoy chaos. Like maybe sacrifice for the rest of us to not get that
Okay.
going.
Yeah, I just wanted to put it. I didn't even tweet it. I texted
That would
Travis
be the
personally.
perfect political Michael Gaines equivalent to Michael tweeting out the sources say Jeff
Oh,
Fisher to
Jeff
Yes,
UCLA.
someone- yes.
That literally made it around the world.
Right.
That would be the political equivalent.
Yeah, second
You say
tier
sources
Democratic
say.
operative. There should be an operative in the DNC, kind of an intern, kind of got some sway, that slowly leaks it out that the party is reaching out to constitutional professors, and then they put in a list of like 5 professors, and at the bottom you see Barack Hussein Obama.
but do it like
just to set the
second to
world on fire.
last.
Yes.
Oh, it's just
Oh yeah, I
on
mean
the
just
list.
somebody we just thought we throw in there.
I just want the reaction.
Yes.
That's all I'm asking for.
We're at the point where we're just like, what can we do just to troll the president of the United States?
Yes.
This is
What
where
if
we
we
are as a
said
democracy.
What if we gave Tommy a script and had him say, sources say, and then you tweet, intern says, sources
Intern
say. Now
says,
you're really
sources
like,
say.
oh, an intern's
Just
talking.
a thought.
But hold on, this happens in politics again, both sides, many sides.
Many sides.
But no matter who does something bad in a campaign or a presidency or whatever, after the fact, that person is always, a lowly intern a low-level staffer.
Right.
I barely knew that person at all.
Right.
He was in there for coffee once.
Yeah.
That's kind of usually how it goes anyway.
In fact, I want to go the extra step. I want Malia Obama to be the one to quote and say, "Oh yeah, they reached out to my dad."
Yeah.
I want her to say it, so then everyone just sets their hair on fire.
As we looked up
Yes.
could she be a paralegal in this sense?
Yes, she would be in this case.
Officially.
I think you just have to.
Whatever gets me my entertainment is what I'm looking for.
This is what happens when you don't drink, people. You try and scale up national
You
emergencies.
try to get under the skin of the president of the United States.
I won't do that.
Do you want to do a movie
Start
about
showering here.
it? This sounds like a movie I could star in. No.
It was just an idea. I was just
Okay.
sitting and thinking yesterday.
Fair enough. All right.
That's
so
not very
Chris-
patriotic, bro. All right, we asked you about white people who haven't seen Frasier.
Okay, what about him?
Foul, I'm a white guy and I've never watched an episode of Frasier. Traitor. I thought we lived in a post-racial society, and I will not let my skin color determine my entertainment or life choices. All right, I got to get back to rewatching Arrested Development for the 5th time, so I have time to drive to Trader Joe's before they close to stop by my favorite microbrewery on the way back. That's the JVL Jackal. Couple more here. We'll give away a $10 certificate. Foul, that's like saying, find me a black person who hasn't seen how Stella got her groove back.
Is that true?
We have all seen
TT's
that.
big required
It is,
watching.
it's like-
Yeah.
You
At
leaving the house?
meeting.
No, you're not. You ain't seen Stella. Sit your ass down.
She got it back? I didn't think she'd ever find it. Foul. You remember that one episode of Frasier where his friend drives an hour and a half to see his studio and Frasier hands him a gift certificate and tells him to show himself out? Had a friend who listens to the show stop by yesterday during an incredibly busy, horrible time to stop by, and I kind of was like, "So, do you need me to help you show you out? What's
Right.
going on?"
I have to ask though, because you're talking about if you have black people who watch quote unquote black movies,
Right.
But I don't feel like as a white person, I'm like, oh, I gotta watch that white show. I mean, obviously we have a lot
Charlie,
of
you're
different
gonna.
options.
Charlie,
Oh,
God
no.
dang it.
Oh, no.
Okay, I'm just talking about myself.
Damn it, Charlie!
Privilege.
You just set me back 6 months.
no.
What I'm saying is,
no.
Frasier.
Do you want my camera,
I'm
Travis?
sure it was a great show. I'm not like I gotta watch my white show. Am I wrong?
While you have sensibilities, now you've opened the door for the extremists. Go ahead, Trav.
Gardner, clip that off. Thank you. Charlie woke, baby. Charlie, he almost too woke. He woke.
See, I thought you were going to say the highest form of privilege is not knowing that all your options are white movies. And is that where you were going to go with it?
Look, Chris, I'm not putting words.
I
in
was like
people's
B
mouths.
Rabbit.
I'm just.
I was like B Rabbit and 8 Mile. I took away your power before you
If
could
you
use it
listen long
against me.
enough, the truth will speak to you.
Neither do I, because that episode doesn't exist. Probably because producers knew the viewers would think Frasier's being a real dick with a stupid face twitch.
Yeah. Oh, shots fired.
On an unrelated note, great seeing you yesterday, Chris. The black sheep. Let's go ahead and vote on those. Trav, who you got? $10 to Buzz's Hawaiian Grill.
Let's keep the party going. Black Sheep gets my vote.
Oh, my. And big thanks to Tech Electronics for this wonderful studio that they helped us outfit here.
Very
How's the
nice.
lighting?
It's
You okay
great.
with that? Great.
Look how great
Good,
Charlie
good.
looks,
very
man. Look at
impressed.
Charlie.
Yeah.
You're in great shape, by the way, too, man.
All right,
You
stop
still got that athlete
hitting on it.
bod, man. You got it. You ain't got
Tried.
dad bod at all, man. You nice.
Gardner,
Black sheep.
Mr. Marlow, did you hear
Was
one
that the
you liked?
Trader Joe's one?
No, that was the JVL Jackal.
like that one.
What did
Okay.
you have?
I had Black Sheep.
Black Sheep wins $10 to Buzz's Wine Grill. Don't
daddy.
pick it up in person because I don't have time for you.
That's the only reason why I voted for him. I wanted him to come back.
To come back and get it. Huge thanks to Charlie Marlow, everybody. Again,
Great to be
check him
here.
out Monday through Friday on 590 The Fan and then on Fox 2 Now, online, on Twitter, all that goes at Charlie underscore.
Charlie Marlow underscore.
Charlie Marlow underscore on Twitter. Gardner, how do you feel about the show today? Okay.
That's pretty good.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow live on the live stream at 8 a.m. Thanks, everybody.
Peace.